Today in this video, we are going to discuss the Baltimore Ravens lead the AFC with 7 Pro Bowl selections. But there were a few names that may have been left off the list. QB1, he's on the verge of a couple of milestones that could be set leading up to the Super Bowl. Rest versus rust. Should the Ravens stick to repetition or rest their players to get them healthy? And with the injuries that have piled up over the last few weeks, should the Ravens add these free agents? Let's get it. The NFL has released their Pro Bowl selection for the 2023 season, and the Ravens lead the AFC with 7 picks. Now, the San Francisco 49ers lead the NFL with 9 total picks, but the Ravens, in my opinion, they should have matched it. Now, this season, we have quarterback Lamar Jackson getting his 3rd Pro Bowl nod, center Tyler Linderbaum with his 1st, Roquan Smith with his 2nd, Patrick Queen with his 1st, Justin Madubuike making his 1st Pro Bowl, and possibly Defensive Player of the Year, All-Pro, Kyle Hamilton making his 1st as well. And undoubtedly, of course, Justin Tucker, who in my opinion could make the Pro Bowl every single season. Now, back in 2012, when the Ravens led the league with a 14-2 record, they had a record for that season, 12 Pro Bowl selections. This season with 7, it seems like, yeah, that's a lot, but there could have been more. In my opinion, Jadeveon Clowney and his play should have given him the Pro Bowl nod. Now, he may not have double-digit sacks, but his pressures on the quarterback are rivaled by none. In this year, when we don't look at everything statistically, if you look with your eyes and see his play, he has been a valuable addition to the Baltimore Ravens. Another Pro Bowl snub is Kevin Zeitler. There was a point in time when Kevin Zeitler was leading the league at guard in Pro Bowl votes, but for some reason in his career, he has not made a Pro Bowl. Now, undoubtedly, he started slow, but after week 4, he has been one of the best guards in the NFL. And I think just because of the Ravens and our offensive line as a whole has not looked entirely well, I think that may be the reason that he got snubbed. And last but not least, Geno Stone. At one point, he led the league in interceptions until Marcus Williams returned to the lineup and they changed his position. In this season of down play, there have not been too many other safeties out there with better play than Geno Stone. And those that have gotten injured or their play dropped off towards the tail end of the season. Now, I know the ultimate goal is to win a Super Bowl, and we're not worried about Pro Bowls, but I do think that players who play well should get the accolades that they deserve. But I'm pretty sure that LJ and the crew would prefer a Super Bowl championship over this irrelevant popularity vote in Pro Bowl nods. Lamar freaking Jackson. Throughout his 6-year career, he has set numerous records. Without the help of all-world talent around him, without the help of expertise in coaching, Lamar Jackson has done amazing things. And I think this year he's finally getting some of the recognition he deserves. Now, statistically, he may not be on par with his MVP season or some of the MVPs of the past, but Lamar Jackson is on the verge of setting 2 milestones in the NFL this season if he does win the NFL MVP award. The first is that in the 104-year history, you have to think, 104 years, no one has ever accomplished this feat. Lamar Jackson can become the first player in the NFL to win 2 MVP awards and win a Heisman Trophy. So if you think of all the Heisman greats of the past, none of them have won 2 MVP awards. That's amazing to me, and Lamar Jackson could be the first one. Now, I don't care how you view Lamar Jackson as a quarterback, if you think he's quarterbacky, if you think he's just a runner, if you think he's a good passer. That holds no merit. I don't care what style of play you have in the NFL, whether your opinion is right or it's wrong, there has been no other player to accomplish this feat. And right now, Lamar Jackson, by all of the metrics, all of the pundits, all of the publications, is the front runner for the MVP. And since he is not playing on Sunday, there's really no way for him to lose it. And the second milestone, which is also ultra impressive to me, is that he can become the 3rd quarterback, the 3rd to win an MVP without having a 1,000-yard receiver. So for a young man who should have switched to wide receiver to appease some of the masses in the NFL, these are pretty amazing accomplishments. And I'm going to put it in the air right now. Lamar Jackson is and will win the MVP for the 2023 season. And I don't think that he's done. I think that this is the start of something great. This may be the start of multiple MVPs, multiple consecutive MVPs, because this is his first year in Todd Monken's system, and we gave him minimal help. Now, shout out to OBJ and Zay Flowers, but I think this offseason, we need to double down. We need to get him a true number one receiver. And I know if you watch Lunch Break Hot Take, you'll hear Jose scream to the mountains, scream to the masses, go out and get Justin Jefferson. Can you imagine Lamar Jackson throwing to Justin Jefferson and T. Higgins? Second year in the system, and you get him stud wide receivers to pair with Zay Flowers. You cannot tell me that this man would not go on to win multiple MVPs, but we shall see. Heading into Saturday's matchup versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, it has already been announced that Lamar Jackson will not play. Do we go with rest versus rust? Now, for some of us, we have a slight bit of PTSD coming from the 2019 season. 2019 season, the Ravens racked up the number one seed. They had a first round bye and proceeded to lay an egg in the playoffs versus the Tennessee Titans. Now we're here once again, 3 weeks before the Ravens starters and Lamar Jackson, for the most part, have played a game. Is that too much time to take off? Now, I know that no player in the NFL is 100% at this time, but do you take that much time off in between live action and expect the team to be fluid? Do you expect the functionality to be where it's supposed to be in the NFL, whereas you've had teams that have played for weeks at a time without a break? For me personally, I think that we need the coaching to step it up a notch. If you're not going to play a lot of the starters, you have to prepare them in some way. We do not want a repeat of 2019 because they will kill Lamar. They will kill him in the media if the Ravens go out and do not win a playoff game. Everything's laid out. Kansas City's not playing well. We've dominated Miami. Buffalo had to muster everything in their power to even make a run at the playoffs, which they might not make. And if they do, will they be spent once they get there? The Colts, if they make it, they beat us, but that game was a fluke, and that was before we actually found an identity as a team. The only team that may get in the way may be Joe Flacco and the Cleveland Browns. But as well as Joe Flacco has played consecutive 300-yard games, I think that the Ravens have a clear path to the AFC Championship, to the Super Bowl. And if you look at the Super Bowl logo for this year and you look at the colors, if you look in years past, this was a preview to what the Super Bowl matchup might be. And if you look at the colors, the red and the purple, some may perceive that it's supposed to be the Ravens versus the San Francisco 49ers. So the Ravens need to prepare like they never had before if they want to make up for not playing for a full 3 weeks. Now, during the last quarter of the season, the Ravens have incurred a rash of injuries. Brandon Stevens missed the game, Kyle Hamilton's missed the game, and we've just had a bunch of injuries, which may not be serious, but we don't know how it's going to hamper the team going forward. Now, for me, I like preparedness over status quo, albeit there aren't any big names that are left out there at this point of the season. There are two names that intrigue me. One, Dalvin Cook, just released by the New York Jets. He has cleared waivers and is free to sign with the team on Thursday. Now, I know I've seen a lot in the chats and they've said Dalvin Cook is washed, we don't need him, but you do have to remember, one, he is a 1,100-yard back. For the past 4 seasons prior to this one, he's rushed for 1,100 yards. And in that New York Jets system, especially with bad quarterback play and them having Breece Hall in front of him, this man has not rushed for more than 10 carries in a game. And more importantly to me, especially at this time of the season, he has fresh legs. The one thing I would hate would be for another team, a la Cleveland Browns, Miami Dolphins, with Raheem Mostert and Achin both banged up, for them to add a piece that could actually help them in the run game. There are some teams in the playoffs that could use a backup running back, and to me, Dalvin Cook is still a quality starter. Sometimes you get addition by subtraction, where you eliminate the competition from getting better, and he could also help our team. He does have that speed element. He has a knack for breaking tackles, and he's a home run hitter. And once again, the New York Jets, that pairing wasn't conducive for success. Along with that bad quarterback play, they had a horrific offensive line. So to me, why not take a flyer on him? What would it hurt to bring him onto the team? He's not going to cost much money, and he could be a valuable insurance piece just in case something happened to us. Because you remember back in 2019 when Mark Ingram went down, you see what happened there. And last but not least, I know a lot of people are going to have something to say about this, but bring back Marcus Peters. For me, I just love his energy. He may not be the MP Juice Man that he once was, but for some reason, Marlon Humphrey, he plays a lot better with Marcus Peters on the team. Also, we're not asking Marcus Peters to come in and be CB1, nor are we asking him to be CB2, because right now, Brandon Stevens is our best cornerback. But Marlon Humphrey has been banged up. Ronald Darby, go Florida State, he's been up and down. Arthur Millette, bust. Rock Ya-Sin, garbage. Pepe Williams, Jalen Armour Davis, back on IR where they live. So we need that insurance to come in just in case. And I think Marcus Peters is good enough to cover the third wide receiver. And if anything else, he will bring a mentality to the defensive backfield that I don't think we currently have. If you want someone that plays like a Raven, he plays like a Raven. Now, some are going to question his effort up there in Las Vegas. Don't know what happened, but I know what his effort was when he played with the Baltimore Ravens. So to me, these are two signings that I think that the Ravens should actually look at, because what would it hurt? What does it hurt to have insurance policies just in case? Because we don't want to get into a game and someone gets hurt and we don't have a replacement. So these are my thoughts for today. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Make sure that you all like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and hey, go Ravens. This is the final week of the regular season and the playoffs begin next week. So until next time, it's your boy.